Somebody in the way, battling, having got in way of the attempted clearance. Jim Gannon. Oh, great flick on Alan Armstrong.
It's against Bradford, but here's Warburton!
Yes!
And trying to manufacture the shot, gets it away, yeah!
Not got it clear. Please, sir! It's a cracker!
Running Armstrong, played in the game, and a superb goal!
Tony Goody! Stockport County are the champions of League Two.
Hello and welcome to this week's live show of the Scarf Bigara War. As you can see, unfortunately for everybody, it is me, Waggie, hosting again. This so-called boss, chief guy, head honcho, whatever you want to call him, he's ran out on us. I don't know what's happened to him. He's just ditched us at the last minute, completely left us in the lurch. So I'm afraid you're stuck with me and Andy for the moment. So good evening, Andy. How the hell are we?
All right, mate. Yeah, really good. Good to be back. I've not been on for a couple of weeks, have I? So that hangover after the Leyton Orient game was just one of the worst. I do not know.
Is that from the actual game or from the drinking at the game?
No, from the game itself. I really wasn't. It was a free hit, so for me. So all I wanted was a good night out, basically a good occasion, which it was. I thought we played some good football. We had our chances, and yes, we went to penalties, but it was a free hit for me. And if I would have taken going to Wembley, I would have taken not going up. I would have taken going up, but I've also just taken that we didn't go through to Wembley. So it was just a kind of no hangover for me at all. I'm really excited to see what kind of team we can put together because we only need a handful of players, in my opinion. I'm really excited to see what we can do in League One next season. So going back to your question, it was the actual hangover from the drinking. It was. I genuinely don't know how I managed a day's work. It was unbearable. So where is he then?
Who?
Bossman.
I don't know. He ran out on us. Last minute. Left us in the lurch. Fortunately for everybody listening and watching, we have an excellent first-time fan guest coming on. He's a little bit nervous. He's not used to being in front of the camera. So please be nice. Be nice to him. What else? Oh, you mentioned he's not that up on football, is he, Andy?
Put it this way. They're going to get some interesting chat from me because my knowledge on football, we all know, because we know this guy is pretty shit, basically. So he makes my tactics and chat look like well up there with Bossman's. So yeah.
Well, I mean, yeah, give him a chance. Hopefully, he won't be too nervous. So we'll get the fan guest out. It's his first time as a guest on the podcast. We'll get him his questions, introduce him, have a bit of a chat with him, and then obviously the main topic for tonight is that retained list or released list. We'll deep dive into that, have a good chat about that, and then see where we go. So, should we get our fan guest out?
Just before you do,
yes.
How are you, Waggie? Are you okay?
Oh, I'm fine. Yeah, I'm fine. I'm very good. Yeah, very good. I've got 2 more days in work, and then I'm off for 2 weeks. So, not quite an Andy holiday, but it'll do for me.
Wish I never asked now.
Right, let's get our fan guest out.
You're joking!
It's only Russ Johnson.
It's too gimmicky. This. It's too many gimmicks. Too gimmicky.
How you doing, Russ?
mean?
You feeling nervous? Are you okay? Welcome to the show.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, feel a bit nervous. A bit nervous about you grilling me about stuff.
I'm surprised you remembered, to be honest. We only
I
said
know.
it 2 minutes ago.
Nearly missed it, didn't I?
You did.
Yeah,
you did. Go on,
Very
Waggy,
good,
your
very
host,
good.
mate.
Yeah, I know. I'm just. Is my audio and everything okay still?
No, we do that backstage, Waggy. Not
No, I know, but I'm just checking to making sure while we're on air. Don't forget, I'm hosting, and Russ can do nothing about this, so I just go with it.
Have you got another computer logged on somewhere, Russ, where you can just tweak?
Yeah, back up.
Yeah, back up.
So,
go on, Andy. You saying something?
no, I was just going to fill in the blanks while you were fiddling away doing something. So I was just going to say, Russ, how are you feeling after Leyton Orient? Because I don't think you've been. Have you been on air since Leyton Orient? Oh, you were. Yes, or yes, you were. Yeah, you did the Thursday one, didn't you?
I did. Yeah. How am I feeling? If you watched last Thursday, I was proper gutted last Thursday, but I think I've completely got over it now. It's probably, I don't know, there's like loads of schools of thought, Sydney, but I'm probably in the camp of it's a bit of a blessing in disguise. I really, really wanted to go up, don't get me wrong, I really wanted to go to Wembley. But yeah, I think it won't do us any harm another season in this division. But so with the teams coming down and some of the ones that are already there, I think it's going to be difficult. I think there's going to be 7 or 8 teams that are going to be vying for those top 2 spots, assuming that they all live up to their potential.
Well, in fairness, though, there's only going to be one spot available, though, isn't there?
Well, yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's get on it already, Andy.
Yeah.
Brilliant. So, Russ, as this is your first time as an actual guest.
It is like 10 years in the making.
Yeah, 10 years. 10 years, and you're on the other side of the mic, as they say. So, we will ask you your fan guest questions. So, first one is, when and what was your first ever match? Now,
right, so
we're not expecting a lot from this because we know what your memory's like.
Well, this is it. My memory is bad, but some of it. My memory's bad, but some of it's not my fault. So my first match was around 84, 85, because my dad and his best mate took me when I was about 4 or 5-ish. Now I've asked them in the recent past if they could tell me what game that was, because they took me to loads at that age in the main stand. I remember sitting in the main stand at that age, and for the life of them, they can't remember which one was the first one. So
right,
that's I guess that's the one that I can remember. The very, very first one that I can remember was a pre-season friendly against Wrexham. Very topical, but it was against Wrexham in the pop side, and I stood in the pop side, and we obviously walked up and down each end depending on which way we were shooting. And the Cheadle end wasn't big, like it was just the small Cheadle end. That was the first one that I remember shouting at the players. That was some years later. And then I think the first one that I actually remember going to, like properly, and then thinking, Jesus, I'm into this. It was the FA Cup match Rotherham away when Precy scored the winner. I don't know what year that
years to go with any of this.
No. So was it 92? Was 91, 92 or something? I think Precy one. I can't remember.
You said a moment ago, Russ, that your memory's shocking, but that's not your fault. Whose fault is it?
Well, I'm not supposed to remember things when I'm 4 or 5, am I? So I would expect my dad and my dad's mate to do that. But
oh, right, sorry, you mean in relation to the games? I thought you meant in general. It's not your fault that your memory's shocking. Anyway,
yeah, well, yeah. Well,
at least on this tonight's show, we got past the 5-minute mark and we didn't mention Wrexham till 8 minutes and 34 seconds.
Yeah, but it was in the context of my first game, wasn't it? Or my memory.
That's true.
Yeah.
So yes. So your favourite ever game in that long Period.
Yeah, that's dead easy for me because my favourite ever game was Southampton away 2-1. I was lucky enough to go down for that on that Tuesday evening. So, hands down, that's the favourite game. That'll take some beating, to be honest, unless we get to the quarter-final of a major cup in this country and win it. I don't think that's going to be topped.
Fair enough. Very good. Your favourite ever goal?
Favourite ever goal that I've seen is probably there's probably two really. Number one is I think it's probably Ashley Williams against Rochdale away. Don't know if you remember that one.
Yeah.
Bit of a, I wouldn't say pile driver, but it was nicely like 30, 35 yards out, won it into the top left-hand corner. That was good. And then I think for pure limbs and because it's my lad's favourite goal, Odin Bailey away at Swindon when we went 3-2 up.
When he cut inside and curled it.
Yeah, because that was the goal that it's his favourite goal. And I've said it before. I lost him like down a few flights of stairs because it was just limbs everywhere, like not forced limbs, proper limbs. And because of that, I'm gonna. Yeah, that's probably another one as well.
Very good.
It's good, isn't it? I like this.
Yeah. So then, obviously, last one is your favourite ever player, and you can have past and present.
I'm not going to have present because I haven't got a favourite player for present. I'll be honest with you. But my favourite ever player.
Why?
Because I just think that
is it because of this argument that you're 43 years of age and you're not allowed to have favourite players at 43?
It's not. I'm 44 actually, but thanks for that. Thinking that I'm younger. No. Well, it's slightly that, I suppose. Yeah, I just don't have a favourite player. So I think you grow out. Well, some people grow out of that eventually, don't they? Which I think I've done. So I don't really do that. But my favourite ever player anyway is Tom Bennett, hands down. And yeah, as I said before, when I met him as well, managed to lucky enough to interview him and meet him and have a drink with him. He's the top bloke in the world. So they say don't they never meet your heroes, but yeah, I've met him and he's ace.
Why is he your favourite player? What
because he was in that 96-97 team, wasn't he, with Marsden, and him and Marsden were just mint. But he was the more cultured of the two, I think. So he could. He was the more sort of. More like how I used to like to play, so I think that's where it comes from. Sort of midfield maestro, if you like. Played the ball left and right, knocked it on and that kind of thing, and controlled the game. I just thought it was great, and that goal against Blackpool as well. That was an absolute belter. So yeah,
funny you say that because Marsden still to this day is the best player, my favourite ever player. He was just absolutely mustard. And whilst we're on that subject, we have got for our Patreon members, we were meant to be interviewing Chris Marsden tomorrow, but due to reasons out of his control, we've had to postpone it. So that will be incoming. But what a lovely bloke he is. Been really nice messaging him. And we'll get that set up soon and get that out to all you Patreon members. And we've got a few others which I'll speak about later on.
Yeah, so this is sort of a bit of admin time. We are going to be having some time off over the summer. So every Wednesday, we will still be releasing a show at 8 o'clock. Basically, it'll be a lot of the patron-only ones which we've done over the season. We've got Fraser, Collar, I think, as well, haven't we? We've got Kenny Boxall. We've got a couple of others. So we'll be releasing those at 8 o'clock on a Wednesday so that everybody can do that. And then we've got others that are lined up, which we will still release for the patrons. And Mr. Marsden is being one of them, and a few in the pipeline.
Well, I may as well do those now. Actually, whilst I'll only forget, being second host and everything. So We've got Liam Hogan Part 2, which we've got a date. We're just sorting out the venue, and that will again be an open up to a small group of fans. Patrons get first dibs if they're obviously not exiles. And then we've got as well Roger Wild, which again will be opened up to a small amount of fans. Venue to be arranged, and me and Jimmy were meant to be on early July playing in a golf kind of pod, which would be a recording for the Patreon members again, against two former players in Sean Connolly and Tony Dinning. But we've postponed it because we were going to be playing it in Cardiff area. We thought we may kill two birds with one stone. So we're going to wait for the fixtures to come out because we're going to be playing Cardiff. So that will be incoming soon at some point as well. So, yeah, it's all exciting stuff.
Yeah, and another reminder is that as of next season, we do have Sir Michael Flynn joining us once a month for a show, which
Yes.
I'm really excited about to listen to an ex-footballer to talk about county the way that we pretend to be football managers and talk about county.
So you could say there's lots of interesting stuff coming out over, we may not be here on air with our dulcet tones, but we are working hard behind the scenes whilst, we're taking a short break, and there'll be something every week for you anyway. And a couple of live events in there as well for you, basically.
Yep. Coolio. So, moving on, the main thing that we will talk about tonight, which I know has probably been done to death all over social media and everybody's slagging everybody else off and all that type of stuff, is the retained and released list. So, officially, the three loanee players, Brad Hills, Micah Hamilton, and Sam Cosgrove, have all gone back to their respective clubs. The only two that have actually been released at the moment is Kyle Noyle and Cody Johnson. Macaulay Southam-Hales and William Collar are in dialogue with the club for a possibility of an extension or a new contract. And the ones that have obviously been quite... so Fraser Horsfall, Ibu Torre and Callum Camps have been offered new deals for the 25-26 season, which I think is quite the wording. I think is not a lot of people have looked into that. I don't know. Does that, to me, is that they have just been offered a 1-year contract, or does that mean that they've been offered a minimum of a 1-year contract? Because I know obviously there's been a lot of social interaction around one of these players. So how do you think that wording's on purpose, that they've said it's only for the 25-26, so it's only a 1-year contract? Or do you think that it is maybe a 2 or 3 year contract for them? We'll go to you, Russ. What do you think?
What, that specific question about the contract?
Yes.
Yes. I don't know. It doesn't say, does it? It's probably the short answer. I don't know. I wouldn't give. Who are they? Torre, Camps, and
Horse.
It's an interesting one, isn't it? Because we're going to aim to go up next season, aren't we? I think we've got 2 years left on this 7-year plan. So next year they're probably going to have a proper go at it, and I would imagine there's going to be more movement in the main squad. That are all ones that are all contracted anyway. I'd put Camps and Horsfall in the. I'd put Camps and Horsfall in the 1 year bracket, I think. Torre probably the same, to be honest. I'm not in this thing of he's rubbish. When we're surprised that we're talking to him. Generally speaking, the old squad for me, we've just finished third in League One for the first time in God knows how many, and set a record as well for this tier in terms of points. So there isn't much tweaking that needs to be done. I do expect a lot of the others, not a lot of the others, some to go that are contracted. So I think give them all. Me personally, it's probably just hedging bets. 1 year contract. I guess it's a question of, well, can they make it? Can they step up to the Championship? Horsfall, Camps, or Torre? Probably not, I would say, and that's why I think it's probably just a 1 year.
Yeah. How are you? What do you think, Andy? Do you agree that the 1 year contracts, or do you think they're getting more than that?
Again, like Russ said, I don't know. I don't think you can read too much into the only mentioning the one season. Obviously, they're not going to tell us whether they've been offered 1 or 2 year. And I don't really think they're bothered about playing it on a little riddle for us either, to be honest. I just think it's just the wording of the email or the actual statement.
With regards,
but him,
you got an email? You must be important.
Yeah, I am important, Russ. Yeah. Yeah. To be fair, Dave Challoner rang me just to say, "Don't worry, we'll be issuing the full terms and conditions of each and every player's contract to you, but as long as I don't disclose them to anyone else, sort of thing." So
fair dues.
And anyway, sorry, Waggie, I got interrupted by the fan guest there. With regards to the Torre thing, I was thinking about this the other day, and I agree with M Lallam 244. I do think the Torre stuff has been blown out of proportion. But for me, I thought up to Christmas he was the most improved player from the previous year. He did start to level out, and there was some games where he was shocking. But is that a case of he was the most improved player, but then by that sort of December time, the whole team stepped up, didn't they? And we then started putting in performances. Had the whole team sort of not produced better than Torre, because like Russ said, that we finished third for a reason. So I think he's earned another, at least a 1 year extension, Torre. And we may get cover or a position like Rydell. They may push Rydell further up because Rydell's crossing is second to none. So if Rydell can move up a little bit further up the field, they may get someone in better than Torre to push Torre. Like we've said this argument before, you need players to help push you. So I think he's worthy of a 1 year. Can he play in the Championship? No, I don't think he can at the moment. I hope he proves me wrong when we get there. But yeah, and then Horse and Camps again. I think the Camps thing is the injury side of it. Maybe, you know, we do have a few players, don't we, that are sort of through no fault of their own have been out for some time this season and last season through injury. So, but then that goes on to the other argument, which I'll speak about in a bit.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's I think for me they will get offered a year, as Martin said. He's actually said the Torre stuff has been ridiculous. Do we want better? Yes, but is he a capable player? Of course he is, and I think that's pretty much the way it is, isn't he? He's capable of playing in League One, and he has been part of the team that has got us to third with the record points for this level of football. So yes, there is a mistake in him, and yes, you know, occasionally he does get, you know, not shown up but found out, or somebody gets behind him and stuff. Depends what type of winger that he's playing against, doesn't it? And I think sometimes, for me, he turns back rather than going forward. Whereas you say when you have Rydell in that same position, maybe Rydell's not quite as good as a defender, but going forward and getting that ball into the box, I think he's a lot better, isn't he? But as you say,
that's not his game, though, is it? So it's
not his game.
For me,
no. Yeah.
For me, Ibby's an out and out left back. Don't think he's a left-sided centre half. Don't think he's a wing back. He's being asked to do those jobs, which is fair enough. He's doing a decent job at it, well, a very good job at it. He's doing a job at it that's third in the league of League One. So we can't be too picky and choosy, can we? You know, we've got Rydell, who is the left-sided wing back. We maybe need to it feels like we need to get not a proper left back, a really good stellar left back, one that can maybe play both left back and left wing back, perhaps. Maybe on loan, I don't know, something like that. And then you've got three. You've got Ibby, the new player, and Rydell to mix it up. That's my.
I think, yeah, and I think also if you go back to what I was saying a moment ago about up to December, he didn't need to go forward. He didn't need to. For me, last season, Touré's weak link was his crossing. Sometimes he didn't even look what was in the box. He just hit a ball. But prior to, say, Barry going, he didn't need to do any of that because he had Barry on that side.
Yeah.
But he overlapped a lot with Barry.
But I don't think Barry gave him the option of being able to drop back. Once he overlapped with Barry, there's no way he was going to go back. The only person he was going to go pass it back to was Barry or someone within the vicinity. So he'd already made that step forward. But as soon as we take Barry out of the equation, Touré, there was no one in the team really on that left-hand side that would help Touré out. So if Touré didn't feel confident, he had no... I'd much rather Touré play back than give the ball away, to be honest.
Yeah.
So all this talk about, he keeps coming back. Well, if he saw his crossing, I'd rather him pass it back to someone who can cross the ball than him just kick the ball into the box and the keeper smothers it or what have you. So, yeah, I think we need like a Febs type player on that left-hand side, someone who can drop in. Like we don't like it when Febs drops in, but someone that can drop in if called upon.
Do you think you could see Diamond playing in that sort of semi left wing back stroke left winger, similar to what Febs does?
I think he could. I think he could, but I wouldn't prefer him there. So he's probably on an amber, isn't he? In terms of Football Manager, as a position that he can play. You definitely want someone who can do that for sort of full time. Diamond needs to be used in other areas, up right, up centre, up left. We definitely need someone. And some of the goals as well have come down that side, haven't they? They've been played in between Ibby and Pai, and there's definitely been teams have been targeting that area. So we just need to strengthen up in that area, and that comes in two ways, doesn't it? It's not just getting a new player, buying or loaning. It's also coaching as well. Yeah. So they're going to be getting coached as well, throughout the pre-season. So don't be surprised if that does tighten up anyway, just through that element.
Yeah, definitely. So obviously, in dialogue with the club and the player, Will Collar to start with, would you want Will Collar to stay? Do you think he's good enough to stay with us for the championship? Do you think it's more of a 2-year contract, or?
I do, but I know a lot of people don't, which is fair enough. But I do. I'm a Collar fan because he's a box-to-box midfielder. That might start to deteriorate as he gets older. What is he? He's the grand old age of 27 now, isn't he? So
28.
I'm sure he can still do 28. I'm sure he can still do that job, but he's a box-to-box. I like him. Got a good touch. He's good at arriving late in the box as well. So I think he's one to keep hold of, assuming he doesn't go somewhere else in the meantime, personally.
Yeah. So do you think him staying is dependent on the length of contract?
Probably, yeah. I mean, it'll be. I'm sure it is. I think I'd give him a 2-year. See how he gets on this season. And don't forget, there's all these things that when we're talking about 1 or 2 years, there's all these little things that they have in as well, don't they? They have all these like little bolt-ons and add-ons and all these different things that I'm sure they're very complicated these days. So he might have numbers to hit and all this kind of stuff. So yeah, I'd give him a 2 years because look what he's done. He came from the National League with us, didn't he? So he's got credit in the bank. I think we should reward that loyalty and that effort that he's put in by giving him a 2-year. That would be my preference.
Do you agree the same as that, Andy?
No comment.
Go on, why? Come on.
I don't know.
Have I just convinced you?
No, not at all. Look, I agree with what you said about loyalty needs to be rewarded. I get that. He has come with us from the National League, but I don't know. He doesn't wow me as a player. just think we could have better. I don't, you know, I'm not. I don't think he's had a great season. I don't see, you know, I remember that wow season that he had, and I'm not saying he's played poorly, but he's not had a great season compared to that wow season that he had. And I don't know. I thought there were better performances out there, and I think there's a better option out there. But yeah, if the club, if he resigns, and great, I'll back him, and you know, as a player, because I want County to go up and do well. So I'll leave it to the powers that be. But for me personally, obviously we're in talks with him, aren't we? So it's nothing what I say or you know changes that. So yeah,
you've upset the fan guest he's got.
He's just deleted me off his phone list. Yeah, I just thought he ran out of steam second half of the season, which Mark Morley just put on there as well. So again, it's all about opinions, isn't it? And for me, he just wasn't that Will Collar of the previous seasons.
Fair enough. Speaking of loyalty, the other person that's in talks with the club is Macaulay Southam Hales, which we'll talk about him first, and then we will talk about him versus Noel, because then we can let you have your moment, Andy.
My moment. It's not stars in your eyes. Tonight, Waggy, I'm going to be Russ Johnson.
Do you agree with him being, in talks with the club? Do you think that is because of do you think it's more off-field or more on-field? Because we know he's had injuries, and say we will obviously talk about that. That seems to be the biggest thing that everybody talks about with South Wales is injuries. Do you think, before I ask you the question, as I will just say myself, I think every time that he has been injured and come back from injury, he's looked better. Now, if we can stop him being injured, there's a real player in there, isn't there? You know what I mean? Every single time he's stepped his game up, because we've all thought, and I think for the last 2 seasons, this probably being the 3rd season, we thought he was going to be leaving. And he's come back from injury, been given another year or given it another 2 years, and come back and look much better than he did before. So are you surprised by that, Andy, with him being in talks with the club?
I'm surprised that he's in talks with the club. But for me, I think this whole injury thing, I'm just going to go straight into it. This whole injury thing, you know, saying he's injury prone and we shouldn't, you know, first off, I saw a comment on socials. These are human beings, by the way. And this time of year must be horrendous for them, because football's such a short career anyway. And again, I've probably been a bit hypocritical because of what I've just said about Collar and stuff. But, you know, if Collar re-signs for us, then I'll back him as a player 100%. But I'm just going back to the Macca thing. Football's about people. It's not always about stats. Stats and contracts don't capture the influence of what a player has in the dressing room as well. So for me, just sign him up. His value, Macca's value, is worth, whether he's injured or not, it's worth so much off the field. And football is played off the field as well. It's not these days just about what happens on the pitch. So what Macca's does off the pitch equals what he's capable of on the pitch. So for me, just get him re-signed up. He's an amazing bloke. His family are unbelievably one of the nicest family I've come across in the world of football, sport, whatever. They are a lovely, lovely family. And just to a little, Macca's dad, without wanting anything back, just bought me and Ian a pint at Wrexham a couple of years ago. And it was just like, I'm not saying it's all about the pints, not this time, but but can you see what I'm saying? It's not just what happens on the pitch. And in fairness to Macca, he's had 2 freak injuries, like proper freak injuries. And everyone was saying this week about Kyle Noyle going. We don't know whether Kyle Noyle's turned a contract down or what have you, but no one's talked about Noyle being injury prone. Now, so I did a little bit of a check to see the sort of games in relation to, say, Noyle for how long he's been here and Maka. Now, this isn't taking into consideration squad rotation or anything like that. It's just basically working out the average. And Maka, I think, over the 5 seasons, averages out at like 21 games a season. And Noyle averages out 24 games a season. So everyone's been like hyping up and saying, Maka's injury prone. Well, he's no more real injury prone than Noyle. And over a 5-year period, you're more likely going to be injured more over a 5-year period than you are over a 2.5-year period. So, I'm not buying this argument about of Maka being injury prone. So, we shouldn't re-sign him. Just get him re-signed because he does so much more. He does equally as much off the pitch that he does on the pitch. I've had me rant.
I suppose that you notice it more because he's been here for 5 years. If he's had injuries every season, Noyle's been here was here for 2.5 years. So, do you think he should have a contract, Russ?
I'll be honest.
Sorry,
with
Russ,
you,
we've run out of time now. I've had my say.
I'll be honest with you. I thought he'd be one of the ones that was released, but I think there's a few things at play here. So the fact that he's been offered, they're in talks. That says to me that they've checked about underlying injury issues. Like things that there's something wrong with him. In terms of recurring injuries and things like that. They've assessed that. They've had the time, haven't they? It feels like doing something. Then there mustn't be anything. They're obviously offering him something because they value it and it's worth the risk, isn't it?
Yeah.
So that's something. And you're right, Andy. Totally agree. It isn't just on the pitch; it's the whole thing about off the pitch as well. Which maybe I don't know. Maybe a lot of people forget. I'm not sure, but I think I sort of trust this regime that we've got at the moment. So if they think that he's worth offering, it's got to be, hasn't it? It's got to be. Yeah. So yeah, definitely keep him. And like you say, every time he does come back, he seems to be better. So
yeah, he does.
Looking forward to that. So.
Let's not forget the games he's played this season. He looks absolutely amazing, and we've not got up a league yet, so we're still in the same league. So Maka, honestly, just the word. I've forgotten the word. What's the word?
Bird.
No.
Bird.
Ambassador. That gets thrown around a lot in various sports. Maka is an ambassador for Stockport County and the town and the people and the fans and everything. It sounds like he's probably my favourite current player. How's that, Russ?
Right. Hey, you're the host, not me. I'm just a guest.
I'm the host.
I'm only a mini host.
So, going back, obviously, the Brad Hills, Micah Hamilton, and Sam Crosgrove going back. Would you have Micah Hamilton or Sam Crosgrove back next year?
No.
Or do you think that they can offer us anything different next year than they have this year? Because we've not really seen. I think Sam was. I think he was brought in just in case anything happened to Wolves, wasn't he?
Yeah, probably to challenge him as well.
Yeah, so and I don't think that's not happened, has it? Because he's not been in the squad all the time. He's not really played that much. Not come on.
Well, no, but you can challenge somebody without taking their place, can't you? So it's like the old adage, isn't it? If you've only got one, I don't know. You've only got one right back. Let's stay with the right back. You've only got one right back. They're playing week in, week out. They get complacent. Bringing one on loan to challenge them, even if they don't take their place, you get a better right back than in the one that you already got. And maybe we've seen that with Wootton.
Yeah.
Although maybe they should have brought Cosgrove on in the second half against Leyton Orient. Because I'm pretty
Maybe.
sure.
If sports and maybes.
Well, yeah. But the voice broke there.
Andy's voice is broke on air.
I turned it to Billy Bradshaw online. Yeah. Anyway, I was joking. Carry on, Waggy.
So, obviously, Brad Hill's going back. Would you have him back next season? Do you think it's a possibility of having him back next season?
Oh, that's a good question.
We'll start with you.
He was shite.
I'd definitely have him back in a heartbeat. Would he come back? I'm not. Depends on Norwich, doesn't it? If they've got plans for him to go to a Championship club on loan. Well, they're in the Championship themselves, aren't they? So unless you know what, unless they play him, unless they've got ideas of playing him, then yeah, maybe. I'd definitely have him back. I think he's ace. He was ace. He probably had one half dodgy match every 5, didn't he? Do you know what I mean? Because there were elements where but you're going to get that with a young lad anyway. He's just a young lad. So he got the curly finger a couple of times, didn't he? But yeah, I'd have him back definitely.
But he did make a few mistakes as well. And just say his recovery was brilliant. Yeah, he was good.
Yeah, he's young. He's going to make mistakes.
Yeah.
I agree. He was absolutely brilliant. And the question got asked a few weeks ago on this show or the Courtyard Club Call, if it was down to you only had one, you can only pick either or Louis Barry or Brad Hills, which one would you go with? For me, I love Louis Barry, absolutely adore him. But for me, Brad Hills. If we could guarantee Brad Hills on a season, but let's not forget. We found a different way of playing when Barry, and obviously this is all hypothetical. If I could have both of them at the club, I'd have both of them at the club. Yeah. But for me, you start from the defence, and Brad Hills shores up our defence a lot. He's good on the ball, got good feet. He pushes forward. He is brilliant. Now we've got Diamond coming through, haven't we? With that sort of Barry role, we've got other players we can still sign to fill that Barry role. If the question was asked, which 2 players on loan would you have? Then, but that's not the hypothetical question, is it? So for me,
no, that wasn't even the hypothetical question from the start. Yeah.
No, it wasn't anything to do with it. We were talking about Brad Hills, not Louis Barry. No, I think Brad Hills.
I don't like this fan guest. He's not coming back on, What a prick!
I think Brad Hills either plays in Norwich's first team next year, or he comes back to us. I don't. As I say, they're in the Championship. They only finished sort of mid-table-ish, didn't they? I don't think they had a very good season. I've got a feeling that he's going to be playing Championship football for Norwich next year. I think he'll definitely be in there. I think he's good enough. He stepped up. He was Accrington's Player of the Season last year in League 2. Stepped up. I think he'd have pushed Pye for Player of the Season this year, or Young Player of the Season, if he'd have been there all season. I think he'd definitely have pushed him. And so I think his next step is up in and playing for Norwich. There is obviously would you have Barry back? Would you have Barry back on loan, or do you think that with him having the injury that he's had at Hull, that his price tag's gone down, and do you think that we can afford him? Do you think we would go for him?
Ooh, I like this question.
Go on, I'll ask you, Andy.
So this changes my whole hypothetical question. If we can buy Barry and loan Brad Hills, this is like the perfect scenario.
There we go. Look at that.
If we can buy Barry, then wow! Just can you imagine? Do you know what? I'll be gutted now. Every message that comes through with a signing, I'm going to go, oh, that's not Brad Hills or Barry. Yeah, absolutely. Get your checkbook out. Stop. Honestly, if and I do think hearing on the socials that Barry's price tag has come down a lot, like down to about 200,000, I think.
So I'll put that one to you. Do you think we can afford Barry, and do you think he's affordable?
That's the same question, isn't it?
What?
Well, I'll ask in a different way, and I'll ask you again once you've answered.
I don't think we can afford it. I don't think we can afford his wages. Is probably the first thing I'll say. I would, but again, in a heartbeat, I'd have him back, 100%. Because could you imagine him, Diamond and Febs, all? Because last season when Barry was at the start of the season, the first half, Febs was he in and out with injury, wasn't he? Diamond was new at the club, just getting opportunities and finding his way. Diamond in the second half and Febs in the second half were mint. A fully functioning Barry, Diamond, and Febs, rotating on each side.
Febs, Diamond, Barry in the middle, behind Woods or Tanto.
Well, no, just as I mean, you can do that, but just as a.
Why don't we sponsor this player already that we're not even going to get?
Just as a high wide left, high wide right, inside forward, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
Just three of them sharing the two positions and coming on and impacting games and things like that. I think that'd be brilliant. I think it really would. Yeah. And Mark Barry's dad, Louis Barry's dad does watch the show. So hello.
Yes.
Mark, if you're watching, mate, do get Louis to come back to county, will you? Do everything you can, mate.
All right. Well, on that note,
sorry, Mark Morley. He's just commented saying not a chance, unfortunately. Yeah, that's fair enough. But
he's probably right. To be
fair. if we're doing shout outs, Russ, then if anyone's watching that knows Brad Hill's parents,
Dad.
Please have a word. Please have a word and get him to re-sign with us next season on loan with a non-recall loan.
What's his dad be called? Harry.
Oh my days! Oh, God, seriously.
He's supposed to humour the fan guest, not. Yeah, come on, carry on.
We did humour you. That was your moment. That was your one moment.
Yeah, we invited you on.
Anything else we want to talk about or need to talk about around the squad? I know. Well, all right. We won't talk about. Obviously, there's been again on social media players that need to go. I'm not going to start talking about players that need to go or we should get rid of. They've got contracts. As Russ did mention, for me, I believe in DC and SW. They 4 times out of 5 or 5 times out of 6, something like that, they get the decisions right, don't they?
Yeah.
Every so often they make something wrong, but I completely trust in everything they've got. So I will flip it and say, how many players do you think we need to bring in, and where do you think we need to bring those players in? So we'll start with one position each. So I'll start with you, Russ. What position do you think we need to improve? Sorry, how many players do you think we need to bring in? We'll ask you both that first.
Geez, how many players do you think we need to bring in? That's a tough question. You could have asked me that so I could prepare for it. I don't know is the answer because I genuinely believe some of them will move on as well. Some of the contracted ones will move on. Ones that maybe didn't play as well last season, even given the chances, and some have gone out on loan. I think Fiorini's out on loan and things like that. Unless they come back and get a chance, I don't know. You might be a completely different player. I think there'll be a few spaces available. Where do I think we need to bolster? Well, with Niall going, that's probably right on the right hand side. I think it's probably fair to say. Obviously, offered Macca a new deal, but we probably need somewhere on that side. On the left as well, like I've said, someone to bolster that area. That would be 2. And I think we need somebody up top. Whether that's sort of, it's got to be a striker. I don't really mind what kind of striker it is. I get the feeling it's going to go for somebody a bit like a Wootton, just to challenge Wootton again, a la Cosgrove. But the thing that we lacked last season, and I'm saying this and we're talking really fine margins now because we've got 87 points, which is ridiculous. Finished 3rd. But I just think we lacked that sort of cutting edge in the final third. And if we finish our chances, because our XG said we were second to Birmingham. If we can just tick that box, I think it'll be a really good season. So yeah, I'm going to say left-sided defence, right-sided defence, and someone up top. So
what did you say? Would you prefer more of a Watts player, or do you want sort of like more of a fox in the box, like and I know he's not going to come to League One, but like a Jamie Vardy type of, who just seems to be in the right place at the right time.
No, because I think we've got. I put Tanto in that bracket. I put Watts in the big target man striker, doing all the donkey work kind of thing. Gets through loads of work. I don't know. It's kind of like a. How do I put it? It's almost like a Madden, really, isn't it? Someone who's a top finisher is somewhere in between Alafi and Watts, but can score different types of goals, but is a bit experienced at this level. Someone who Anderson possibly can really sort of look up to and maybe take leadership from. Is what I'm thinking. But then, do you know what I mean? Anderson could be that person. He could just fly, couldn't he? Who knows?
Yeah, I think Anderson's going to have a really good season. I think he's going to be our leading goal scorer next year. That's my prediction. So, anything else? What do you think, Andy? Do you think there's any other positions where we think, or do you agree with Russ for the left back, right back, or right-ish?
Yeah, I think left-sided, right-sided, and not left back, right back.
Yeah.
Left-sided, versatile, right-sided, versatile.
Yeah, right side. Again, I agree with that. I think another centre half, because even with Horse, if Horse does the re-sign and Pie, obviously we're losing Baddiel, so
Connolly
always go back.
Still got Connolly.
Yeah, but I think Connolly's a cover. I think is a great cover, but to get a full season out of Connolly, when, let's not forget, this is the year we really need to get promoted, because within the 7-year plan, it's leaving it to the last. I don't know, the last year it's still within the plan, but really, I think for ideal terms, this is our year that we need to be pushing, and I think we can get better than Connolly. I'm not saying.
I see. Yeah, I'm going to disagree. Can I disagree with you, Andy, please? As a fan guest.
Do what you want. I'm still talking.
You can do what you want.
Ignore you.
You said the word cover there. I'm not sure. I don't think that Charlie and the team think of it like that, as someone's like Horsefall is. Yes, he might play more games, but I don't think you have a player as cover. I think they all sort of muck in, don't they, and rotate and things like that.
Yeah, okay.
Connolly for me.
So we've talked about squad depth and what have you. So probably, okay, someone as equal or better that can help push Connolly, maybe. All right, let's just go back. I think we need a centre half. Let's move on. Then a forward, like you said, Roy, you said it perfectly, somewhere in between Watts and Tanto. Someone, and again, you said it perfectly. A Paddy Madden clone would be perfect. A younger version of Paddy Madden.
Right, here you go. How about this from Sam Jeffs? Macaulay Langstaff.
Yeah, that type of player. That type of
player, yeah. I'd want.
Yeah.
So you want Macaulay Langstaff 2.0 or a championship or a League One Macaulay?
I'd want
like a Tom Denton,
No, I'm thinking like he was good, wasn't he? That lad at Leighton Orient. What's his name? Charlie Kelman, QPR loanee.
Kelman, yeah.
He was kind of somewhere in between, wasn't he? I think, and he was he's probably young, so that probably pushes Anderson out. I'm not sure. I don't know the play. I don't know enough players to warrant it. But I wouldn't say Macaulay Langstaff. I don't think.
Who's the lad on this sat on the bench second half of the season at Birmingham? Forgotten his name.
Bloke.
Yeah.
So Mark Moore says he thinks Pie and Bait will go now. We haven't gone up. a left centre back and a midfielder. We definitely will need for a start.
So I'm going to say, if that happens, we will be quids in because they will go for lots of money, and we'll be able to go into the market. Then maybe we will anyway. I don't know, but well, if those two go, we'll be demanding a fee for them, won't we? So we'll have money to spend.
But to get the equivalent of a pint of bait, you've got to spend that same money.
Not necessarily.
No, not necessarily, because we got bait on a free, and pies come up through the youth system. So,
but to get the equivalent of pie,
you're right.
Is it Alfie May, the other lad?
Yes, Alfie May. Who said that? Yes.
Yeah, I'd have him.
Michael.
in the comment.
Yeah.
I was saying is to buy a pie.
What flavour?
Spend loads of money to buy a pie.
Yeah, I need loads of money to buy a pie.
We're not bringing pies up again. We had this halfway through the season. Go on, Waggie.
No, I was going to say, so to get the equivalent of Ethan Pye as a left centre back with a who is left-footed, you're going to have to spend that money that we've just got for Ethan Pye to get a replacement for him. For me, so
I don't know. I think the fact that he's left-footed and he plays left centre back, it's a brilliant, but it's a bonus. I think there are if there are still very, very decent defenders who can play left-sided centre back that aren't left-footed. So don't get me wrong, it's a great bonus that we've got that, but I think there are players out there that could be snapped up. Me personally, I maybe reading too much into it. Do a bit of a Chalier. Did I think his good sort of celebration was a bit of a goodbye celebration? He was clapping for an awful long time, Pie, on his own, wasn't he? So obviously we don't know, but I think out of the two, Pie would probably more likely be the one to get snapped up. Bate is captain. I think Bate has unfinished business and he would really like to captain a side and get promoted.
Fair enough. I don't think we've got anything else to say about squad or anything. Anything else? Dude, that was all that we had for the agenda, and we've basically done an hour. So, anything else that anybody wants to add? Anything else that we've missed? Does the fan guest have any admin that we might want to mention?
Admin? No admin. I don't do admin. I'm the fan guest.
If you had your own podcast.
Yeah, if you was the host of a podcast, would there be any admin?
And you thought there might be some admin. What kind of admin would you think to say?
I'm loving all these hypothetical questions that we're having tonight.
Yeah.
I don't know if I was going to have my own podcast, I'd probably say.
Which you won't, by the way, because you're shit.
Yeah, well, this is it. I mean, yeah, I'd probably say we got to get in the Rezzers section, which is again a bit gimmicky, but we'll do it anyway. And if anybody's watching, please do like and subscribe, because I believe I'm a patron myself. You get all this stuff ad free, don't you, when you're a patron? And
all of this ad free. Yes.
And if you're a patron, Ross, you can tell everyone how much how much is it being a patron?
It cost me £3 plus
£3 English pounds
a month. And do you know what I mean? When I go to the pub, I spend double that on a pint, just one, and I have about 10. So there you go.
And the rest.
There you go.
Yeah.
All good points.
That's good admin. So if you are watching, listen to our fan guest, Russ, and like, share, and what was the other one? I don't normally do all this bit. Subscribe. Yeah. Like, share, and subscribe. Do it. And sign up to Patreon as well, because it's cheap.
And do rate us on whatever podcast player you're listening to us on as well. I just thought of that. That's just something else that I would say, I think.
That's pretty good, that. Maybe we should start saying this shit.
Yeah, probably.
Look at
It'd be good if I
Waggy
could
struggling to
find- there it
multitask.
is, there it is. So, I mean, it sounded like a good idea, that. Shall we do Getting Rezzers?
Let's do it.
Get in the Rezzers.
Come on, get in Rezzers.
Get in
Come on,
the Rezzers.
get in
That's
Rezzers.
rubbish. Get in Rezzers.
I'm not having that. Get in Rezzers.
So, do you have your normal 2, Andy?
Yeah, none of them are football related because not really been any football, has there? So,
Okay.
um,
So would you want to go first with one of them, or should we let our fan guest go first?
I'll go first. One of them's really quick. The other
Right,
one may
okay.
not be. So the first one is has anyone seen like the sponsor bit of like a drama show or anything? But the fucking Domino Hoo can get in the Rezzers. I don't even know what it is. What is it? Just some sort of like the Budweiser with the frog advert? Is it just trying to be like some sort of like that people start saying Domino Hoo everywhere? It's the most annoying. Is it a jingle? Is it a jingle or whatever? I don't even know what it is. You can get in the Rezzers. I hate it. Yeah.
Fair enough. And anybody in the comments, if you've got any of your own Getting Rezzers, get them on, and I'll give them a shout out. Russ.
Oh, is that it? Great chat, boys. Thanks for that. Yeah.
Yes, Domino who can get in the Rezzers. There you go. we nodded and agreed while you were saying it.
Right.
Yeah. Have you noticed though on the adverts for the Domino's getting Domino Hoo, you look carefully, the actors never take a bite of the pizzas. You watch.
That's
You'll never notice that.
Yeah, you won't be able to unsee it now.
no, sir. But somebody did point out to me that because I was having this rant a few weeks ago saying that my head is the perfect shape of that stone thing that they're standing off. That then suddenly goes, Domino hoo.
Well, we're in the advert.
Yeah. and I mean, it's done its job, hasn't it? Because we're getting us talking about it. There you go.
Ah. No, because you can't talk about it anymore because it's in the Rezzers.
Fair enough. Yes.
Well, thank you for humouring me with more than a 30-second agreeing. Thank you for engaging in the chat, should I say?
No problem, main character. You're all right. So, moving on. Russ, do you have a get in the Rezzers?
Yeah. I'm gonna put in the Rezzers. I'm gonna put 2 things in the Rezzers, but they're quick, right? First thing is just modern football on social media. I'm just gonna put that in the Rezzers because it is absolutely turgid. You can't have an opinion on anything these days without somebody coming back and disagreeing with you. You know, like, oh, I went to the football the other day and I breathed there. No, you didn't. That wasn't your air that you were breathing. Fuck off. All right then. Do you know what I mean? It's just ridiculous. It's just stupid. It's getting out of hand. So yeah, and clearly I'm alluding to this people who do generally people who do podcasts. You know, you have an opinion, put yourself out there, and then people hide behind faceless accounts and slag you off for it. So that can get in the Rezzers. They can get in the Rezzers, and it's just a bit bad experience overall in it. I preferred it when it was just club call and we went to the match. You interacted with the people that you sat next to, and then you went home, and that was it. So that's that. Genuinely,
sorry, I'm just agreeing. I actually missed what you said. What did you say? What was
I'm
your
not
Rezzers?
repeating all that.
I heard all the second bit.
Just move on.
Just
Andy,
what was the
you're not the
Rezzers?
main character. We're talking to Russ. He's the fan guest. Shut up.
Yeah, well, I know, but for me to agree to put something in the Rezzers, I need to know what it is. I heard all the chat afterwards. Just what was the get in the Rezzers?
Social media in modern day football.
All on social
Right,
media.
okay, yeah, right, I totally agree. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. And my second one, yes, my second one, right, is I've probably put this in before, so apologies. You know, when I was on, I've not been on before. It's my debut, so I've not been on before, so I'm having this one. Forslins. I'm having that. It's just ridiculous if they bring back, if they let us have beer in the stands, which is something that's being discussed at the moment, isn't it? It is just going to be awful because you're going to get whoppers, little whoppers, or even big whoppers when we score, pints in the air going everywhere like you're at, I don't know what, but that's just going to be horrific. So the forced limbs, these, and then they take a picture of it. Oh, look what happened! Look at the limbs. No, it's all forced. It's all fake. There's no way you act like that when you've just gone from 2-0 down to 2-1 because you scored a penalty. Piss off.
What's
Did
forced
you get that,
limbs?
Andy?
No, I got it. I don't understand what you mean. I've not heard that. What is it?
Have you not? When you score a goal, there's these pictures come out and this footage comes out of lads going a few rows down and the face up and they're upside down in between seats and all that kind of stuff. And you're like, that's not happened when you've gone 1-0 up against Plymouth. I'm not having it. So it only happens in tiny moments, doesn't it? And even when it does happen, that's because you've been pushed or something. Something's gone wrong. Forced limbs can get in the Rezzers.
Yep.
I agree.
Yep. Agree with that. Mine is when it's a 2-legged playoff, for instance, is after the first game saying it's only half time. It's not fucking only half time. It's the end of the first game. We don't play 4 quarters, do we? It's not American football. It's not actually half time, is it? It's the end of the first game, the end of the first leg. So people going on saying, oh, yeah, well, it's only half time. It's not fucking half time. Is there only 15 minutes before we start playing again? No, it's not. There's a week between it. That's still half time, isn't it? A week. So no, it's not half time. It's the end of the first leg. So that people saying that can get in the Rezzers.
You say this though, Waggy, and you say it's not American football, but you have said on more than 100 occasions that term quarterback role.
Right,
he's done you dirty there.
I've said it over 100 times. I've said it quarterback style role.
No, there's no way you said style.
No, so
there's no way. There's no way.
I have referenced that American football is played in 4 quarters. That's the only reference that I'm saying why you can't say it's half time. We don't play 4 quarters, do we? We play 4 halves. So
if you genuinely believe,
how much is 4 halves? If you play 4 halves, how many halves is that? How many full ones is that? That's 2. So it's not 1 full one, is it?
Right,
so
right.
Saying that it's half time when there's 4 half times, 2 half times, it's not. It's not. So
that was easy.
No.
That was easy.
But I'm still having it. Saying half time when it's the end of the first leg.
Okay, I'll put it in temporary, but unless you start saying that quarterback style, which you don't say style, every time you say the word quarterback role.
I will.
Right, you best I'd do. Right,
I'll make it. Yeah, and just before Stu Hope. What was Andy's second game, Rezzers? He said it was going to be a long one, so we've left him till last. So before he carries on, because there is other people on this podcast, Andy. It's not just you. And I've got the buttons, so I can take you out if I need to. Some other comments. Mark Morley. Russ has been okay, actually. Maybe try and get him on a bit more often. Yeah, we'll see. What do you think, Andy? We'll have to have a discussion backstage.
Yeah. Well, we'll have to have a production meeting, won't we?
I like this one. Charlton fans winning the attendance cup can get in the Rezzers, along with Nathan Jones praying dramatic. Did you see that?
Oh, that was cringy, that one, wasn't it? Jesus Christ.
You almost seen him look at the camera, didn't you? And see that the camera was there and then just suddenly turned around and just went, yeah, come on, please, pray the Lord.
Promote Leighton Orient immediately. That's what I'll say.
Yeah.
Well, no, actually, because Leighton Orient out of the 2 is a brilliant day out. I'd much rather I want them to go up because I always think any team that beats us deserves to go up. Just like Crystal Palace beat us in the FA Cup. They deserve to win the FA Cup. So, but as it generally selfish reasons, I want Leyton Orient stay down because it's a cracking away day at Leyton Orient, and it's not brilliant at Charlton, in my opinion.
Fair enough. So we will end with Andy's second getting the Rezzers.
Right. So this system of what I'm about to say, it's the same system everywhere in the world. Even if it's on the opposite side, it's just the opposite way round, right? So why the fuck do people who drive not know how a fucking roundabout works? It's the most frustrating thing. So it's simple. For anyone that doesn't know, if you drive in the UK, you give way to the right. And for the audio listeners, even though it's the opposite for the camera, who cares? Anyway, you give way to the right.
Your right.
If you're on the opposite side of the road in a different country that they drive on the opposite side of the road, you give way to the left. It's simple. It's you shouldn't need to drive to a roundabout and 3 cars hesitating because the person who I'm waiting to go isn't going. So then obviously the car to my left, they're then hesitating because they think I'm stalling. And it's just like, it's so easy. It's just the most easiest thing, but not everyone, a small minority of people don't understand how it works.
Do you not think it's the British standoff when that happens? It's almost like, after you, no, after you, no, I insist, after you, no, I really insist, after you, like that.
Yeah, basically, yeah. And then you go, and then so you think, oh, I'm just going to go. And then they come and they beep at you, and you're like, oh God, I'm not a road rage driver. But in my head at these scenarios, my head is going like, oh, for fuck's sake, yeah. Do you agree? Can that get the
yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. We talk about driving all day, but we're here all day.
Saying about that, our headquarters is in a little town in Nevada, and everything obviously in America generally is straight roads, isn't it? It's straight roads and it's junctions. They put a roundabout in 2 years ago, and they had to actually educate people properly on how to use this roundabout because they'd had something like 4 car accidents in the space of 12 months. They put the roundabout in and they had 26 in the space of 10 days. And they were all at the roundabout because people just did not know how to use it.
I don't get it. How do you not know how to work? It's not like getting a brand new telly without any instructions, is it? It's the same system everywhere you go.
Yeah. No, but it's say in America they don't have roundabouts. There's not a lot of places that do have roundabouts, and it just confuses the hell out of them. But to be fair, they're Americans, so a lot of things confuse them.
What, like half time and full time and
quarters.
On that note,
on that bombshell.
Can I just say as one thing we probably missed? Andrew Wogan. It's Andrew Wogan, into the keeper, County.
Yes.
Called up to the Republic of Ireland under 21s, and I think that's a fucking big deal, to be honest. But yeah, I don't think we have not had one for a while, have we? So
no.
The future's looking good for him in that position at County.
Yeah, how long did we sign him on a 3-year contract? Because I can't find information about his contract. I don't know what we signed him on because we've only just signed him this season, didn't we?
Don't know.
Right. Okay.
That's the end of that.
Well, thanks for that.
We don't claim to know everything or be in the know So we don't know.
No,
No.
it's all just made up.
One last bit of admin, actually, thinking about it. Thank you to every fan guest this season, special guests, special fan guests, whatever. It's been brilliant, and there'll be more people on next season. Just there's an email at the bottom of the banner. It's just been brilliant, and that's why we do it. It's for county fans by county fans.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So very good time to end. So thanks for coming on, Russ. You've been decent. Right. We might get you on again. Have a word with Andy. See what we say. Thank you as always. Thank you as always, Andy. Thank you everybody for watching. Thank you everybody for listening. See you soon.
And that's a wrap for this episode of the Scarf Bagara War. We hope you enjoyed the podcast. Remember, you can catch us every week on your favourite podcast platform, whether it's Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or Google Podcasts. And a huge thank you to all of our Patreon members. Your contributions help keep the show running to bring the content you love. If you'd like to support the podcast and get access to exclusive special guest episodes, ad-free podcasts, and a monthly giveaway, head over to patreon.com/the Scarf Bagara War. And don't forget to follow us on social media for updates, behind the scenes content, and more. You can find us on X, Facebook, and Instagram, all at County Podcast. Lastly, if you enjoyed the show, please leave us a review and share it with your fellow county fans. Your feedback helps us improve and reach more listeners. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time on the Scarf Bagara War. Come on, County!